This is the watch this video for Wednesday, April 26th. The SPY gapped up today and closed nicely above its open, very strong, nearing all-time highs. And IWM, if you go to an intraday, actually closed a little bit weaker than the SPY. And you know what? We have noticed that during earnings season, the small caps, if you watch my videos at all, you know I love to play the small caps, lower float, lower price stocks, because my profit curve went up exponentially when I started focusing, 95% on those. But I also know that you got to cut back position size and you've got to really hone your entries on those during the peak of earnings season, because the money sort of flows into the big names and these things don't work as well. But still made some nice money in CALI today, and then we'll talk a little bit about that one. Just real quick, I want to remind people too, buying, I talk about this a lot, but I do it for a reason, because I'm the guy, I've been running GreatStockPicks.com since 2004, and so I'm the recipient of a ton of emails that, people, hey, I want to try, I've seen your videos, I want to try your chat room, but I've been burned so many times, right? I hear that all the time. I get the emails, and I know exactly what's going on. I know people are joining these different services where you've got a service where every time there's a huge move, the moderator of the room just fades it immediately. It can be a huge move on a low float to the upside, and he just starts shorting and averaging up higher and getting more and more underwater. And I mean, if that's not the quickest way to wreck a young trader's trading career, it's right up there in the top three, I promise you. Or a stock tanking and they just get long without any kind of actual setup, pure guesswork. I mean, so I hear from these people that, hey, I like your kind of, I watch your videos and I like what you're doing, but I just can't afford to get burned again, right? There's other guys that a lot of chat rooms trade the low price stocks because, again, you get nice percentage moves, but you have to have a proper watch list, and you can't just jump in something at the open, especially if it doesn't have news. I get emails from people, hey, I got burned in this one because my chat room guy, jumped in it at the open. There was no news on it, and then all the volume floods in because it's everybody in the room, and then it becomes a quick game of musical chairs. Right? That just is unheard of in what we teach. It has to be a setup. It has to be one of the stocks that's in play, not a stock that I'm trying to make in play, right? By jumping in it because, oh, the chart looks good. That's nonsense, guys. You're getting scammed if you're doing that. There is a way out there to make money every day. Generally speaking, there's always going to be red days, but it's all about the proper watch list. Timing your entries is crucial. Paying yourself on the way up, tightening your stop on the rest, rinse and repeat. All right, that's my lecture for this video. Let's go into the watch list. The Chinese stocks got a nice pop today. A lot of the lower float Chinese stocks. So I want to watch them for a follow-through day. So just quickly go through them. CLNT, see that volume spike there, and closed fairly strong. CCCR, I'm going to watch that one too. VHC, that's not a Chinese stock, by the way, but this one's a little interesting. It looks extended, because if you look where the 20-day moving average is, and you had this really nice move, but you're still kind of flagging. It had trouble with 350 back here. It's been kind of flagging right below 350 there. I think it's worth watching. It's not my favorite chart, but I think it's worth watching. CBLI, again, crazy mover, and now you're down. You've got 1, 2. You had this hiccup here where it bounced, and we actually had a nice upside trade in that one that day, but then another red day. I want to watch this one for a bounce. It did hit the 8-day today, and that one, when it does move, it really moves. So you're a fool if you're a day trader and you don't at least have that on a chart, waiting for a proper setup. CALI had a really nice trade in this one. I called it a 290 with a 280 stop. After it hit 290, it never hit 280 and went all the way up to 366. I made some decent money in this one. I certainly didn't kill it, but that's also because I had to leave early today. I didn't have time to hang out and reap the benefits of this huge move. Before I did leave, though, I did tell everybody, hey, this, I called it down here at 290 with the stop at 280. Before I left, I told everybody, hey, keep an eye on this one. It's flagging. It was flagging. I think it looked like this before I left. I could be wrong. I might have left earlier than anyway, and it had a really nice close. So we're going to watch that one. That's another low float Chinese stock. NADL is not a low float Chinese stock. It's not a Chinese stock. But and again, another huge move here. Then a couple, 3 days down, 4 days down maybe. And then a really nice 2-day move. And now 3 days again on lower volume to the 8-day. Nice narrow range today. perfect setup for a bounce watch tomorrow. OPTT on bounce watch had the gap up on massive volume, and then another red day, albeit a more narrow range today. So Wednesday might be bounce day. That one could get some upside momentum if volume comes in. Fuel, F-U-E-L, had a nice pop couple sessions ago. Yeah, I'm sorry, that was yesterday. And then, kind of a quiet inside day today. I don't know if you call that an inside day, but kind of hanging out near yesterday's big move, near the highs of that. So maybe we get a third day play there. SNGX, this is a little obscure, but it had a big pop here. Lower high. Let's look at it on 15s. This cleans it up a little bit. You can kind of picture, with this big pop here, picture a flag pattern. If you got a trend line here and a lower trend line here. So if this gets up over 420 or certainly over 440, it might head back to the highs of the gap up day. So I certainly want to watch that one. And then lastly, I'm going to go with DELT, which is a very strong stock. And today kind of had low volume and inside day, inside of yesterday's attempted breakout. So it's a good candidate for another move higher again. I'm going to leave the list at that. Not a lot of things are showing up on the scan, so I just tried to follow the high relative volume and then wait for the proper setups. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll see everybody tomorrow.